Hey there, Timeless Sagas crew. Today, we're diving into the world of the legendary Norse seafarers, traders, and warriors, the Vikings. So grab your longships, sharpen your axes, and don your finest horned helmets. Which, by the way, they never actually wore, and let's set sail. Now, the Viking Age spanned from the late 8th to the early 11th century, and it was a time of great exploration and expansion for the hardy folks of Scandinavia. Vikings hailed from what is now Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, and they left a lasting impact on Europe and beyond, from pillaging monasteries in England to founding cities in Ireland, and even setting foot on the shores of North America. As we begin our journey, let's clear up a few misconceptions. First, the term Viking refers to the Norse people who took part in these overseas expeditions, not all Norse people. So, not every Norseman was a Viking, but every Viking was a Norseman, or woman. That's right. There's evidence that Viking women took part in these daring voyages too. Talk about smashing the patriarchy, am I right? Now, you may have heard tales of Vikings as bloodthirsty, rampaging barbarians, but there's more to their story than meets the eye. Yes, they were fierce warriors, but they were also skilled traders, farmers, and craftsmen. They traded with lands far and wide, such as the Byzantine Empire and even the Abbasid Caliphate in the Middle East. Their ships were marvels of engineering, allowing them to travel vast distances and navigate treacherous waters. So, while they might have had a penchant for plundering, let's give credit where credit is due. The Vikings' martial prowess and fearsome reputation were rooted in their unique warrior culture. Honor, loyalty, and courage were highly prized, and warriors sought to prove themselves in battle to attain fame and glory. They believed in Valhalla, a grand hall in the afterlife where the bravest warriors would feast and fight for eternity. It was like an all-inclusive resort for badass Vikings who couldn't get enough of the warrior lifestyle. Viking society was also surprisingly democratic for its time. They had a system called the Thing, which was an assembly of free men who would gather to make laws, settle disputes, and elect leaders. No, not that kind of thing, but it's a fun mental image, isn't it? Now, let's talk about the Vikings' impact on Europe. One of the most famous events in Viking history is the raid on the monastery of Lindisfarne in 793 AD, which marked the beginning of the Viking Age. This wasn't just a simple smash-and-grab operation. It was a statement that the Vikings had arrived, and they were here to shake things up. As they expanded their territories, they left a lasting legacy in the lands they conquered or settled, such as the Danelaw in England and the establishment of the Kingdom of the Isles in Scotland. But the Vikings didn't stop there. They also ventured to lands like Iceland, Greenland, and even the shores of North America. That's right. They beat Christopher Columbus to the punch by nearly 500 years. Eat your heart out, Columbus. Their settlements in North America didn't last, but it's still pretty impressive to think that these daring Norse explorers managed to cross the Atlantic in their longships. As with all good things, the Viking Age eventually came to an end. The Norse people gradually adopted Christianity, and their once hostile neighbors became trading partners and allies. The Viking way of life faded, but their influence on language, culture, and history can still be felt today. So, what can we learn from these intrepid Norse adventurers? Well, for one thing, never judge a book by its cover, or a Viking by their helmet. The Vikings were far more than just raiders and pillagers. They were explorers, traders, and settlers who left a lasting mark on the world. They were driven by a thirst for adventure, a desire for glory, and an indomitable spirit that still resonates with us today. That's all for today, Timeless Sagas crew. Thanks for joining me on this voyage into the world of the Vikings. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more thrilling historical adventures, and until next time, stay curious, stay fearless, and stay timeless.